We love coming here. We love seeing all of you and how things are growing and the farm and the church and everything. It's very exciting. And today's topic is a very sweet one. Truth invites, it never commands. I was thinking of a talk that Parvati gave a year or two ago. And she told this story that I thought I'd start with today. And it's about a rabbi and actually a village. And they were visited once in a while by their rabbi, and they were very excited this time to welcome him to the village. It had been a long time since he had come. And so I was reminded actually of Swamiji, and how we always would wait in anticipation of his arrival. And sometimes we would have questions for him, and will he answer them? Will he see us? What's he going to do this time? What exciting things are going to happen? What changes is he going to make in all our lives? And so I was feeling these villagers as they were waiting for their rabbi. And so the day comes, and he arrives. And they're gathered around. It's a small village. And he looks at each one of them in their eyes, in their faces, acknowledging each one. And then he doesn't do anything. He just stands there, and they're waiting. Then all of a sudden he starts to hum. And he's, I don't know what song he was singing. He was maybe humming Om. But he was just humming. And they were all looking at each other and thinking, well, this is nice, but, where are the words of wisdom? And what can we learn from him? And he just kept humming. And so after a while, they thought, well, maybe we'll just hum along. And so they all started humming along with him. And they were all humming, and it was very nice. And then he started to sing. They looked at each other. Okay, they started to sing with him. And then he started to just sway, singing and humming and swaying, and they started swaying, and then he started to dance, and they all started to dance with him. Pretty soon they were dancing in joy and glee. They were so happy. And after about an hour of this, he stopped. And he said, I hope I answered all of your questions. And isn't that exactly what this is all about? Truth invites. And what that means to me anyway is getting in tune with the vibration of who or what is going to bring you closer to God. In that attunement, in that putting their humming and their singing and their dancing at the feet of their guru and in their hearts, they started to attune not only to him, but with each other. This is the way Swamiji Kriyananda, often the reason he created all these ceremonies for us, to be in tune with each other. The attunement service that we don't do very often, but in the beginning, he felt the need for us to attune with each other and to master. In that attunement, we all go together. That is how Swamiji has worked with us. Dropping little hints here and there. Wouldn't it be nice to get a church in Palo Alto? Wouldn't it be nice if everybody got a farm? And then when we weren't sort of getting the whispers, he got louder and louder and louder about it, didn't he? But that thought, he didn't say, I want you to go out now, until right before he died. But he would just drop those whispers, and it was up to us to tune in to what they were. Many years ago, actually quite a few years ago, Vidura and I were at the village. We had been there about 6 years, and the fire had happened and come and gone, and we were just sort of in this state. We really didn't know. You know how delusion descends on you? I don't know if it's ever descended on you, but it majorly descended on us. And we weren't sure what we were supposed to do. Were we supposed to stay at Ananda? I mean, we'd been there 6 years. That's sort of enough time to gather what we needed to know. And so we Vidura said, well, I'm going to go talk to Swami and tell him maybe it's time for us to go. So he was living at the Hermitage in what is now known as the Dome, and that was his entire home at that point. So Vidura goes back, and I'm waiting. And pretty soon he comes out, and he said, the strangest thing just happened. He said, Swami asked us to be in charge of a new community. And I said, what did you say? And he said, well, what could I do? So off we went on our next adventure. But tuning in to that, we knew we needed something else. We knew we needed to grow. We just didn't know how to do it. But tuning in, asking Swamiji, just telling him, and I don't think Swami said, well, I think you need to stay here. You're making a big mistake. No, it was that whisper of, oh, somebody's donating land to us. Would you like to go and take care of it? That kind of thing, it always invites. I remember when we were, again, practically the first month or two we were at Ananda, and we went down to have our first interview with Swamiji in what we call Swami's Dome at the meditation retreat. And Vidura had wanted to talk with him, and at the last minute he said, why don't you just come? So we went down there, and they did their thing and had their talk, and then I have to back up a little bit. I had wanted to have children. We had our stepchildren. I wanted to have children of my own, and I had talked to people in the community, and they had said, no. Swami says no children now, because we have to put all our energy into building the community. No more children. Let's just wait. I said, okay. So I'm just sitting there waiting for them to get done. Swami comes in, and he looks right at me, and he says, you should have children. And I said, well, we have 2 children. No. You should have your own children. Amazing. We never did. God didn't want it for us. But it was like this invitation to understand who he was. It was an invitation to understand that each one of us is different, that each one of us has a song to sing. And thank you for singing that chant, because the song flows through us. When we tune into that song, we begin to know what's right for us. It doesn't have to be right for anybody else. What is right for us? We have to go inside. We have to go deep inside. What are you saying? What are your whispers? What is my next step to self-realization? And then know what that is. And Swami was saying, you are an individual. Tune into that. And be guided. Yes, be guided. But feel it inside. There's a beautiful story of this man who worked with AIDS, I don't want to say victims, but patients, AIDS patients. And he was a doctor, he was an intern, he was working in this ward. And he had this great calling to heal people. And he started working with these men. Many of them were his own age. And one by one, they died. One by one. It was like no medicine at that time was able to save them. And as each one died, he would just get sadder and sadder, because he was convinced that his role in life was to heal and to make right that which wasn't right. And he had so much invested in that. And he was very sincere, and he would light a candle for each one of those men. They were all men. Light a candle every time one would come in, and he would pray for each one every single night. And still they died. He couldn't understand it. And so he progressed. He went from, different hospitals to different hospitals. Many years later, he was talking to this other doctor, and he said, I always was sad because I couldn't heal these people. I didn't know how to do that. And I don't think he had the realization that he was acting as a channel. I'm not sure he felt God's energy flowing through him. But the point of the story is, after many years, he realized, maybe it wasn't mine to be the channel for healing. Maybe I was there so that every single person had someone to pray for them. So we don't always know, but we have to put out the energy to know. We have to start. We have to be a doctor. We have to be a nurse. We have to be on the healing prayer list. We have to work at the farm. We have to, whatever it is, we have to put out that energy so that God can say, tap you on the shoulder and say, this is a good beginning, but now it's time to do this. Or this is what it's for. That's what we've come. We've come to try to tune in to whatever Master has for us. I was struck by the quote in the Self-Realization, the book Essence of Self-Realization, the quote that Swamiji picked to put right in the front. It's like to epitomize Yogananda's life. And also because Swami Kriyananda was so attuned to truth. Every talk possibly that he gave, when you would talk to him, is it true? He was always seeking that deeper truth. That's what even got him to Yogananda, was that he talked so much at the end of his life about how he was out on the ocean, on the beach, seeking truth. He had to find truth. And so the quote in this book of Self-Realization of Yogananda's is, truth simply is. It cannot be voted into existence. It must be perceived by every individual in the changeless self within. So what Master Yogananda is saying here, go inside, find that truth within you. And he says the law of life is to tune into truth that is within you. And when you do that, your life is happy. When you don't, when you think you know and you don't tune in, everything seems to just go wrong. We've had the beautiful opportunity, I really see it as a gift, to go up to the meditation retreat now at Ananda Village. I don't know if all of you know, I'm sure 90% of you know that this is where Ananda began, up in the foothills of the Sierra Mountains. In 1967, Swamiji bought this 72 acres. 1968, the first buildings went up. He lived there until about 1971. And then we got the Ananda community, and that's where the community and families all were. But the meditation retreat was still just a meditation retreat for people to come and go deep in their meditation lives. And for a while, it was a deep blessing that Nakula and Nishala came along and wanted to start the first Ananda College there, helped tremendously with new buildings and just upgraded, new bathrooms, everything that it needed. And now they've moved on, as you know, to Laurelwood. So now we've come into this equation, Vidura and I, and we're bringing it back to being simply a meditation retreat. I say simply because it's simple, but it's so profound. It's hard to explain to you how profound that land is. It's like the angels live there, Master lives there, Swamiji is there. Every day you see, and I went up there, to do a job. I had this job to do. But what was really happening is Master had a job to do on me. And I didn't know that till I got there. And that job was to see, more than at any other time, in the whole time I've been at Ananda, how Master is in every single thought and action and word. Every day, this is just one little example. We had on Swamiji's anniversary, which was Thursday, we decided to have a day of silence up there, and one of the ministers was doing a program, and she said, I'll bring all my students up there. And she came up. We were all in silence. We had this program throughout the day. And one of the things that she asked me to do was get a 10-minute talk of Swami to play. And so I was home. I was at my other home. I have a couple homes. I was at home, and I was trying to find out. She wanted devotion or service, something like that. So I found the perfect 10-minute talk on devotion, the perfect 10-minute talk on service, and I left it all at home when I went up there. So I didn't have it. And so instead of, doing, I did call Vidura, and he said, oh, it's okay, just take it up with you. I said, no, I'm already here. He was still home. So then I thought, no, just be calm, because I had been there about a month at this time, and I noticed it's almost scary. If I have a thought and I feel like it's coming from Master, it comes true. Immediately someone comes, someone gives us something we need. I put a little wish list in the Villager last 2 weeks ago, and within 2 days, every single thing on that list was given to us. Unbelievable, except one thing. I was hoping maybe you guys would do it. But I'll tell you about it later if you want to know what it is, because David might not want me to fundraise here. So I thought, okay, let's just wait. And somebody had given us some CDs just that day, and I had taken them up to the retreat. So I thought, well, maybe there's something in here, and I'm flipping through it. And I said, well, there's this one on soul evolution. Well, that sounds like a pretty good talk. So I opened it up. Boom, 10 minutes, soul evolution. All these great stories Swamiji tells. So I took it in. I thought, well, it'll just be what it is. It's not what she had asked for. So I played it, and I left, and I went back to the office. And then she comes in later, and she goes, oh, my God. I said, what? She said, the whole week is on soul evolution. How did you know? Oh, my God, it was just perfect. And I said, that was Master. That wasn't me. It's so sweet. But that is how we can live our lives. It's just knowing there's a plan. We have to get in tune with the song that's being sung. And we can know that it's right. And every time you think something's about the bad that's happened, just wait. I almost can promise you, just wait. And Master will be there with the alternative plan that's absolutely right for all of us. So I just want to wish you all a beautiful day. And I want to thank Shanti for setting up the beautiful hike you had yesterday, and David and Biraj for the beautiful work day yesterday. And these are the things, how we're going to get in tune with each other and nature and the farm and our land, and also in that attuning to each other in these ways of service and joy. This is how we'll attract all the different devotees that are going to be attracted to this path. And you can be sure that there's a couple seats here that are empty, but they're not going to be empty for long. This is a real moment in time for all of us. So I want to thank you for inviting us, and God bless your day.